Okay. Uh, okay. So let's see. Uh, think we'll start. Oh, this is the video which was. Uh, okay. So I'll start. Um, this is not working. Okay, I think like there's 5 people viewing this. So what I'll do is, since the coronavirus thing is going on and the classes are all offline, plus like I think like I foresee that there is a lot of people who, a lot of companies, there will be a financial problem and stuff like that. So the hiring will actually slow down a little bit. So I think this is a really good time for us to actually start writing code, start practicing, so that we are ahead of the curve, and then we can actually get things started earlier than what other people can do. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do rapid fire, 5 questions a day, and every day there would be just 5 questions, and I'll try to finish every question in 15 minutes. That's typically like, whenever I conduct an interview, I expect everything, the coding part, to be over in like 15 to 20 minutes, and that is basically what I'm trying to do. Like if I think like so if there is somebody who can actually log in on and tell me if they can actually hear my voice, that'll be awesome. Otherwise, like I'll just start with this. So I think there's 5 people watching, and I think I did a mistake that I actually deleted the previous one, so the link actually is not working. So I am sorry about that. I think there's 5 people, so like I hope there are other people who would actually find out about this, and then they can actually come and start seeing this. Okay, so let's see what we are doing. Okay, so what we are doing over here is we are writing code in IntelliJ, in Java. I can do it in C# or something like that too, but IntelliJ is this is IntelliJ, where you can actually start downloading, you can start writing your code. And this is, if you don't have IntelliJ, just go to jetbrains.com, idea download, and just search for IntelliJ idea, and download the community version. Don't download the ultimate version. You don't have to pay for it. So the community version is good enough for writing simple code. Okay, so I start IntelliJ, and I'll create a new project. And what I will do is, today what we are going to do is we are going to write 5 questions, 3 easy, 1 medium, one difficult, and we'll start with arrays. And arrays is easy. Tomorrow we'll actually do matrix, and what I plan to do is I plan to have at least 4 classes in a week, so that we finish at least like 20 questions in a week. This is not enough. Like I think you guys should be actually doing a lot more. I'll try to have as many questions finished in these kind of sessions. This will just get you started. Okay, so I started IntelliJ. I'll create a project, and I will call this as arrays and string. So I'll just start with arrays and string. Does not exist. Okay. Okay, so the arrays and string project started. There's no classes and stuff like that we are writing over here. So arrays and string and source, and this is our main class, which is there. Okay, so first question that I'll do is two value sum, or if we actually go so all the questions that I'm doing is the questions that people ask in the interviews, and what I also ask in the interview. So generally the first question that I ask in the interview is this question that I'm going to discuss, but I will stop actually asking this question now. But since I heard from another colleague that he's actually also asking the same question, so I guess it's a popular question, so I'll actually switch it up. But people do ask this question. So what is this question? So it's called two sum or two value sum question. And what I'll do is I'll create a new sketch, and I will actually open I'll open what do you call QuickTime. So I'll open QuickTime and I will come over here and file new movie. I'll basically explain what the question is on my this, and I'll say file new movie recording, and I'll have, okay, so that is good. So I want to have the have my iPad over here. So two value sum. So what is two value sum? So what we are going to do is, let's say if we have an array. So our array is let's say -2, 1, 5, -3, 4, 7, 3, 12, 15. Let's say this is our array. So what I want to do is I want to find two values that sum up equal to, let's say, 10. So our sum or the target is equal to 10. So 7 plus 3 over here is equal to 10. So I'll return true, otherwise I'll just return false. This can actually have negative values. This can actually have negative values as well as duplicates. So right now there's no duplicates that I'm writing over here, but it can actually have duplicates. So the obvious solution is you actually have a two for loops. So one starting with this I, and the j will start from here, and then you'll basically compare all the values which are there, and then you can actually get the value. So I'll say -2 plus 1, is it equal to 10? No. -2 plus 5, is it equal to 10? No. So you'll continue doing that for -2, 1, 5, -3, 4, 7, and stuff like that, and then we can actually go there and find the value. That's not the optimal solution. That's a brute force solution. I actually don't want the brute force solution because that's pretty simple. This is very, very basic. So generally this is what you will actually explain, first saying that the brute force will be that. The second solution that you can actually do is you can actually sort this array. So if I sort this array, this actually becomes -3, -2, 1, and then I think 3, 4, 5, 7, and then 12 and 15. So if I sort this out, this is what my array actually becomes. Then what you do is you actually have a start pointer and an end pointer, and what you do is you start summing them up. So 15 and -3, 15 plus -3 would be equal to 12. 12 is actually bigger than 10. So in that case, what you will do is you will make the end pointer equal to 12. So 12 plus -3 is equal to 9, which is actually smaller than 10. So I'll actually come over here, and so over here 12 and -2. Oh, I actually didn't think about -2. So 12 and -2, that'll actually be equal to 10. So we'll actually return the values. Let's actually make this 12 and 1. So if we make this as 12 and 1, so in that case 12 and -1 is 11. So in that case I'll move my lower pointer over here. 7 plus -1 is equal to 6. So in that case I'll move over here. So 7 plus 1. So this is basically how you will go around it, right? So that is let's talk about the order of complexity of this one. So the order of complexity is, if we are sorting this array, that will be order of n log n. If we actually take any like quick sort, merge sort, and stuff like that, that'll be n log n. And after that we'll actually have order of n. Order of n for basically n by 2. So since order of n by 2 is negligible considered to this one, so our complexity will be O of n log n for this solution, right? So that is the solution that we are actually going to write, and it's called two value sum or something like that. If you go to just general popular like coding like interview prep kind of courses, you'll actually see that you have this question. Okay, so I'll start writing the code for this, and my goal is to finish at least 5 questions in 1 hour 15 minutes. So I'll try to do that, and I'll say it's private static boolean two value sum, and two value sum will actually have an integer array, Okay, and it will have a integer array, and I think that is and the integer target. So that is the two values that we'll actually have. Okay, so we have these two values, and then what we'll do is we'll first sort this array. So we'll say arrays dot sort, and we'll sort the arrays, and this is arrays, so we'll actually have to get the import the class. So import the class, so arrays dot sort, and I'll just pass the array. Okay, why is this not working? Arrays dot sort. Import class. Why is the arrays dot sort not work? Oh, yes, I did that. Okay, so that was the error. Okay, so I sort the array, so now my array is totally sorted, and then I will have integer start is equal to 0, and integer end is equal to arr dot length -1. Okay, so that is our start, and then I'll say while start is less than end. While start is less than end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the values. So I'll say integer sum is equal to arr of start plus arr of end. Okay, so let me actually see if people actually got the there are 18 values. Okay, so people are watching this. So okay, so I have the arr of start and I have arr of end, and then I'll check if sum is equal to target. So if the sum is equal to target, so there's three different ways, three different things that can happen. Either the sum is equal to the target, or the sum is less than the target, or the sum is bigger than the target. Else if sum is less than target, so that is the second part, and else this is the third part. Okay, so in this case we'll just return true. Okay, so we'll return true. In this case, what we will do is the sum is actually less than the target, so we'll have to increase the start pointer. So we'll say start plus plus, and the other one would be end minus minus. So I think this actually would do it, and in the end we'll actually return false. So this question, the order of complexity, since so this one basically will be order of n by 2, O of n by 2, line number 17 to line number 26. Arrays dot sort, this is the one which will actually take a little bit longer, so this will actually be order of n log n. So that is actually the one which is actually more expensive. So the order of complexity is n log n, right? There is another solution of that, which is basically what you do is you actually take a hat set. So if I'll come over here, so what you can do is you can can you see, if you guys can see, just 1 second. So this is the live streaming that is going on. I will get the, I don't know, to some we can see your, let me see your ID. You can't read the screen. Okay, can you, okay, okay, so this is not working as I expected. Okay, cannot see the IDE. Okay, let's go to stage 10 over here. This is live, so I am sharing the entire screen, I think, and this is live, so it should take everything. And if I do this, it is showing this. So I think like this is oh, so actually see if you can see my IDE. Okay, can you guys see my IDE now? And I don't know if I can type it over here. Why is this not letting me type? Okay, can somebody type over here saying that can they read, can they see the IDE now or no? Let me see. Share down over here. Okay. Okay. I will actually. Okay. So I'll try to. So think if you can actually see the IDE now, I will. Okay. So that is wonderful. So this is the array.sort, which is actually the two sum values, which will actually get the value of the two sum. Okay, so now there is another question. So if you do this, like this is really like 10 lines of code, and if somebody actually goes through this is like an extremely easy one. Next thing what I will do is I'll ask them like, okay, do you want a 3-value sum? So if you want to actually have a 3-value sum, what I can do is I can actually have a private static boolean, and I'll say 3-value sum and 3-value sum with integer array and target. So some target, integer target. So what I want over here is that I want, let's say if this is there, then I want 3 values to sum up to some values. So let's pick up 3 values. So let's say this 12, this 12 plus 3 is 15, 15 plus 4, let's say 19. So if I want to have a sum of 19, so how would I get a sum of 19? So what I can do is I can actually have the 3-value sum, and then in the 3-value sum I can actually pass the start array. So if I actually come over here and let's say copy this, and I'll create a different function, and I'll say 2-value sum new or something, and then over here I will say integer start. Okay, so I pass an integer start over here, and I will actually remove the start from this place, and then what I will do is I will actually come over here, I'll sort the array, and then I'll have a for loop for integer I is equal to 0, I is less than arr dot length minus 2, because I actually need 3 values, so the last 2 values will be there, and I plus plus. So this would be our for loop, and then after that what we will do is we'll actually call this function, the new one, and we'll check if this for arr comma start would be our I and target will be target, is equal to true, we just return true. Otherwise, we just continue this loop and then we say return false. Right, so this will actually take the three values which are out there, and this will actually do the trick for us. Okay, so that is 2 value and 3 value sum. There's another there's another code for 4 value also. We can actually, if this actually starts becoming more than like it's just like, we can actually discuss other data structure solutions for that. So till now, is everything okay till now? Like, are you able to see this? I am doing this for the first time, so like, please let me know if everything is okay. If things are not okay, please type here, and I'll actually try to figure out what we can actually do to make this better. And I actually want your feedback so that we can start doing this, and I think this is helpful also. It's just a 1 hour practice kind of a thing. Similar to this start and the end kind of thing, there's a small question called Palindrome. If you look at Palindrome, there's a ton of questions of Palindrome, and we'll actually do some of the questions on Palindrome right now, and then we'll actually go from there, and we'll see some other things. So the question we are trying to do is the string palindrome. Very, very simple, extremely simple. It does the same thing as we did in the 2 value sum. So we'll actually have a private, I actually don't consider this as even an interview question, but we'll just do this str. So we are trying to check if this string str is a palindrome or it is not a palindrome. Okay, so we'll say integer start is equal to 0, similar to the one that we had earlier, and integer end is equal to arr dot length, no, str dot length -1, and then we'll actually have while start is equal to start is less than end. So let's actually see, start is equal to end. Let's actually see what this means. So palindrome. So if we are doing palindrome right now, let's see what palindrome is. So palindrome, I think like all of you guys know this, but let's say if there's a string called a b c b a, this is a palindrome, because if we start reading from the start and the end, everything is the same. So that is called a palindrome, right? So what we'll do is we'll have a start pointer over here, end pointer over here. We'll start comparing these two values. If these two values are same, we'll actually have compare b and b, and if that is same, we reach the middle. If we reach the middle, then it is okay. If this is c and c, if this is even, in that case we'll actually compare c and c, and that will be fine, right? So extremely simple, and the code shows a little later. Okay, I'll try to actually experiment with some other decoding software or something like that. Right now I'm using this Stage 10 Studio for streaming. Maybe this is actually not working too well. Okay, I will see how we can actually make this better from tomorrow. So from tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll actually have like, we'll do matrix tomorrow, and let me do this. What I'll do is I'll actually record this entire class also. So I'll say do a new screen recording, and if this is not good, what I will do is I'll actually upload this part later on. So the screen recording is going on. If this is not good, I will actually upload this later on so that you can actually see this, and I will upload all of this code also on GitHub. Okay, so let's get started with this one. So while start is less than end, so in that case what we are doing is we are checking. So if str dot character at index of start is not equal to str dot character at index of end. If this is not equal to the index at end, we just return false. Otherwise what we do is we say start plus plus and then minus minus. Okay, and in the end what we do is we return, and we return false, we return true, right? So this will be checking if a string is a palindrome or not. So let's actually check out. I think, like, I know this, the 2 value and the 3 value sum will be actually correct, so I'm not going to write the code for that one. Just test it out, but you can do that. So a b c b a, this is a string, and then we are checking. So we will check for is palindrome, and we'll check for str, and this should give us true. Run and run. Okay, so this is giving us true. Okay, and if we do cc, if we take an even length, this should give us true too. Okay, that is good. And let's have a string which is actually not palindrome, and this should return as false. So we run this, this is false. Okay, this is extremely simple. Like, I don't even consider this as a question, but let's actually go ahead and try to do some other question which is actually similar to that. So there's another question that people ask, and the question is that if there is a string that is given to us, so the string that is given to us, so let's say if this ABC, so this is a string that is given to us. We want to figure out if we can actually make a palindrome out of it. So if there is a palindrome that we can make out of it, yes, we can make this as a palindrome. So we can say A, B, C, and then C, B, A. So we basically take C, put the C over here, put this B over here, and put this A over here, and this is a palindrome because ABC, CBA. So this is a palindrome, right? There can be multiple, there can be a lot of different ways in which you can actually create a palindrome for this one, but this is one way of doing it, right? So all we have to do is, if there is a string that is given to us, what we want to do is we want to find out if we can make a palindrome out of it, or we cannot make a palindrome out of it. So let's actually see what a palindrome is. Let's actually see if there is a palindrome. Let's say if there's D. So let's say there is odd number of elements inside the string. So there's odd number of elements inside the string. So how do you find a palindrome? Let's say A is there and there's another A. So these two match. There's another B, there's another B which match. There's C and C match. Let's say there's 2 D's, so these 2 D's also match. There's another 2 D's, these two also match. So if things are actually matching, and I'll see over here if there is, the code is frozen. Things are, looks like things is actually not working correctly. Okay. So what should I do in this case? Okay, is it still broken? Okay, so I guess we are encountering some technical difficulties. Okay, so what we can do is, instead of this, we can probably, instead of YouTube, we can probably have like the Blackboard sharing and stuff like that. We'll probably do that tomorrow. And yeah, this is frustrating. This is clear. Okay, So in any case, like if this is not working, like I'll still upload all the code. Like the screen recording is going on, so I'll upload the code anyways. I'll just go ahead and just finish this class of like 5 questions that I prepared, and from tomorrow onwards I'll actually experiment a little bit and see how we can actually get better response out of this. Okay, so let's do this. So this is what we have to do. So this is the palindrome kind of thing. So in palindrome, if there's a string and I have to figure out if there is if I can make a palindrome out of it, basically what we have to do is we have to pair these two elements. So if everything is in a pair and it is an even length string, then we are good. If everything is a pair and there's only one element left, which is the middle element, then that can be converted into a palindrome too. So that is what the case is. So what we will do is we'll actually create a set, and in the hash set, what we'll do is if we encounter A, we'll put A inside it. If we encounter B, we put B inside it. If we encounter C, we put C inside it. If we encounter another A, we will remove A from this set. We encounter another B, we remove B from the set. Encounter another C, we remove C from the set. We encounter D, we put D inside it. We encounter another D, we remove it. So that way, whenever there is a pair, we will remove it and we'll add it similarly. If in the end, if the string was even length, then there should be nothing inside this in this hash set. If it is odd length, then if there is only one element left inside the hash set, then we are good, right? So that is basically what we have to do for figuring out if the total length of the palindrome, like can we actually get the palindrome out of it. So we'll say private, we'll write the code for that. So private, we'll actually say yeah, so we'll say 1 second. Okay, so longest we'll actually, yeah, so we'll say private boolean can make palindrome out of it, and we are taking a string str. Okay, so we're taking a string str. So what we will do is we will actually say, we'll check, we'll take a hash set. So we'll say set of character, and set is equal to new hash set. Okay, we take a new hash set. Okay, so for this one, we'll actually import the class. So now we have a hash set in there. Okay, so then we'll say for integer I is equal to 0, I is less than str dot length and I plus plus. Okay, so what we are going to do over here is we will check if set dot contains character. So the character we have to say is str dot char at the index is I. So str dot char at index of I is there. If this contains that, then what we will do is we'll say set dot remove this character. Okay, so we remove this character. So that is good. Otherwise, okay. Otherwise else we'll just say set dot add, and the character is this one. Okay. So that is what we'll do, and in the end we'll actually check if if set dot size is less than equal to 1, then we return true, otherwise we return false. Okay, so I think this is actually not working. Too well. So the questions that I actually had in mind was, I will actually do this. Then what I will do is I will actually find the maximum number of elements which are inside the maximum palindrome that you can make out of a string. So let's say if the string was A, B, C, P, A, so this is a palindrome. If I add X, Y, Z over here, so the biggest palindrome in this case is this one, and I want to return this. There are other palindromes also. BCB is a palindrome also. I'm not returning that and stuff like that. So I'm returning the longest palindrome, which is longest substring of the palindrome, which is inside a string. So that is the question that I want to do. One way is like an order of n cube, which is basically start creating all the substrings of it, and then find if you can actually have like a palindrome out of it. So that is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is through dynamic programming, and we'll actually discuss that in the dynamic programming part of it. And the third part is basically the order of n square. That is what I was going to discuss. I think it is actually not working that well. So what I will do is let's actually end this, because like this is not. And then another question that I was going to do was concerning the intervals and stuff like that. What we'll do is we'll actually end this right now, because like I think it is waste of time for you guys also if the experience is actually not good. So I will have to experiment on how to make this work better, and then from tomorrow onwards we'll actually have like we'll do 5 questions each, and 5 questions, 3 easy, 1 medium, 1 difficult, and then we'll try to get questions from like different places where people ask interview questions and stuff like that. So I will try to do that, and I'm sorry about this experience right now. The questions that I wanted to do today was the one that we did, which was the finding the 2 sum value and the 3 value sum, and then figuring out if we can make a palindrome out of it, and if there is a palindrome, if a string is a palindrome. And then the other questions was finding the longest palindrome. Then there was finding then there was basically getting interval, so interval merging. And then there was another question was string interleaving. And there was another question which was basically finding the intervals and finding which interval actually has the maximum value in an interval. So that would have taken us to like at least 5 to 6 questions. It's not working that well right now, so I'll stop this right now. We'll actually come back tomorrow and I'll send the instructions. I'll probably talk to Kelsey, and she will basically send instructions to you guys on how to make this happen. I'm sorry about this, but this is the first time I'm actually experimenting it, so I also don't know how this whole thing works. So we'll come back tomorrow 5:30. We'll actually do another one in which we'll actually finish these questions, and we'll do matrix questions. So thank you. So I'll end this right now, and this was okay.